welcome back to Essential Talks. Can you believe it's our third episode, our third interview, our third amazing mama, our third amazing woman behind the title Mum? We're excited to bring you this talk with Jemma, who is a life coach for mums, and I know I can say for myself, I wish I came across Jemma when I first had my little girl, because the nuggets and the insight that she gives you guys in this talk is so powerful and so essential. So please stick around. I hope you love this chat and feel empowered as I did when speaking to Jemma. And let me know your thoughts after, either on Spotify or over on the Instagram page. We'll love to hear from you. Enjoy!
Motherhood is all-consuming, it's overwhelming, it's a roller coaster of emotions, and not only are you learning to deal with this kind of new child and raising them and the different changes that they go through, but as a mother, you know, a new person is born as well. It's like being spat out the washing machine, isn't it? When if you and your kids wake up at the same time, it's like, it's just chaos from the get-go. I really think that you can be an awesome mum and still aspire for more as well. It doesn't mean that you love your children any less. In fact, I think it shows that love that you have for your children, because you want to be the best that you can be for them.
Hey Jemma, I'm so happy to have you on this. I know we had a little chat prior just a minute ago, and we just shared our opinions just on how great it is for us to connect and to even have social media and have platforms like this for us to just talk and engage.
Thank you so much for inviting me on, Jane. Jade, I'm really excited to talk to you, and I really do find these kind of conversations enlightening as a listener when I listen to other kind of podcasts and things. So I hope what we talk about kind of resonates and brings kind of people together and kind of sparks conversation. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely, likewise. So let's start off then, because with a few of the other other ladies, we did a quick fire session, just to ask a few questions, just to warm us up and for us to get to know you a bit on a different level. So let's start with coffee work session or office home vibes. What do you prefer?
My home office is my happy place, although I do love that kind of Sarah Jessica Parker coffee shop vibe with my laptop out. But I think I'm going to go with home office.
Okay, cool. And if your life were a movie, what genre would it be? Be honest.
Probably a comedy.
A comedy. Oh wow.
Comedy of errors.
Okay, let us know why. Give us a bit of insight.
Just because my life is just so manic. I have 4 kids. I have 18-month-old twins. And life is busy. Life is chaotic. I mean, it's lovely and it's rich and it's full. But yeah, there's just so much going on.
Wow. I mean, for those who are not watching the actual YouTube video, but are listening to us via Spotify, you would not have seen my mouth drop when you said 4 kids. And twins as well. Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't expect twins. We planned for a 3rd baby and we got a 4th. Wow. But yeah, a big surprise. But I always say they're the twins that we never knew that we needed.
Oh, that's a beautiful beautiful blessing in the end.
Yes, they are lovely. I wouldn't do life without them now.
Oh no, that's lovely. That's good. I think things are always great when it's a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a big shock, but yeah.
You got there. You survived. You're still standing.
Yeah. Well, surviving, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so if you could master any skill instantly, then what skill would you choose?
Oh gosh. Does it have to be like an actual kind of real skill, or can it be like a supernatural superhero type skill?
You can make one up. Yeah, go ahead. Make one up. I mean, I'm sure there's loads of things that we wish we could do that we actually can't do in the natural. So go ahead.
Oh, actually, I would love to be able to stop my eldest 2 just bickering and fighting, because I find that so physically draining and emotionally just kind of exhausting, just the constant bickering. They're 9 and 5 and they're always fighting, and then you think you've resolved it and 5 minutes later they're at it again. It's just yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
the bane of my life.
I've started to experience, I've got a 2-year-old actually, so I've started to experience a little bit of the terrible twos. She doesn't have a sibling yet, but I can imagine trying to deal with, I mean, the attitude that my little one's got now with another one. Yeah, I feel your pain. So I definitely would take that skill for myself as well. I think many other women would as well. So thank you. Oh, no, but thank you so much for joining. As I said, I think a lot of women, especially in our positions as mothers, would have loved to come across you during our first, stages of motherhood and postpartum, and explain why. Because I mean, I want you to tell us about your profession and introduce yourself, tell us what your name is, and I think once you explain, a lot of people would understand.
So I'm Jemma Andrew Adiyama, and I'm a mum of 4, like I've mentioned, and I'm an empowerment coach for mums. I'm really helping them to reconnect with their identity, their purpose, and their passion beyond motherhood in a way that works on their terms whilst balancing motherhood. So it works in harmony. So we create a blend of them being them before mum, or this new version of them, and so they can be an awesome mum too. So really giving them that kind of clarity, that confidence, and that fulfillment in life that you can often lose when you become a mum, because I think some mums feel that motherhood can be disempowering, like you lose a lot of yourself, you lose a lot of your freedom, your priorities completely shift, everything is very much focused on the child or children, and you can kind of just lose yourself in all of that. Motherhood is all consuming, it's overwhelming, it's a roller coaster of emotions, and not only are you learning to deal with this kind of new child and raising them and the different changes that they go through, but as a mother, a new person is born as well, and it can be a very tricky and challenging time to rediscover who you are as you and as a mum too, and kind of knitting all of that back together. It's almost like putting the jigsaw pieces back together so you become whole again, and I do that through one-to-one coaching, group coaching. I've got my podcast, Reclaiming Mum, and yeah, I do workshops as well, so like a whole myriad of different things to help my clients kind of come back to themselves and reconnect to who they are, whilst harmonizing that with motherhood as well, so it doesn't compromise their ability to be a mom. It kind of works together, so really helping moms to create space for their wants, their needs and desires, and I really think that you can be an awesome mom and still aspire for more as well. It doesn't mean that you love your children any less. In fact, I think it shows that love that you have for your children, because you want to be the best that you can be for them, and you're kind of modeling this kind of behavior to them, that they can go after whatever it is they want, despite the other roles that they have in their lives as well. So I think it's a wonderful thing, and I just love what I do. It's a deep passion of mine, and having something for myself, my business has been such an amazing experience and really supported me through my own motherhood journey, especially in those early like newborn days. Having something that was completely detached from being a mum, it was a space where I could be of value in a different way. I can be confident, because sometimes in motherhood you don't really feel like you know what you're doing, or you're worried about getting it wrong, but yeah, I just love my business. It's saved my sanity many a time.
Right. And alongside that, I mean, touching on that point, actually, it's saving your sanity, because I mean, you also mentioned a lot about sort of reclaiming your identity throughout motherhood. Like how did you reclaim your identity along, as well as, alongside having your business? Was there anything else that added towards that?
I think keeping in touch with the things that brought me joy, and really kind of nourishing myself. And obviously when you've got a newborn, or if you're a new mum, time really isn't kind of on your side. Yeah. So in those newborn days, especially with my newborn twins, actually, I really focused on those basics, just stripped things right back to the bare bones of things and just focused on the basic ways that I can look after myself. So making sure that I stay hydrated, making sure that I am eating nourishing food, making sure that I go to the toilet when I need to go to the toilet rather than holding it in, trying to get enough sleep where possible, not kind of scrolling on my phone all day, which is very easy when you're in those kind of newborn kind of moments, or actually at any stage of motherhood, because it can be quite boring and mundane at times, and repetitive. So really focusing on those basic acts of kind of self-care and self-nourishment, but also connecting to what brings me joy as well. So my self-care practices is very much rooted in my morning routine. That really anchors me. It really anchors my day and grounds me and connects me to who I am. And it really is different every single day. Because with kids, you can't program them to wake up at a certain time. They're not robots. So I do allow myself that flexibility to just do what it is that I need to do. So I realized that actually it's not necessarily the thing that I do in that time. It's having that buffer between when I wake up and when my kids wake up. So I'm kind of easing myself into the day instead of being thrown into it. Like, it's like being spat out the washing machine, isn't it? When if you and your kids wake up at the same time, it's like, it's just chaos from the get-go. But I really like to ease myself into the day. So whether I have 10 minutes or 50 minutes or 30 minutes, what I do with that time is I ask myself, what is it that I need? And it might be movement, it might be reading my book, it might be I don't know, kind of spending some time with my planner and getting organized for the day or the week or whatever. So lots of different things. And I really advise my clients, if they're wanting to start a morning routine, to really approach it with that kind of flexibility and that flow, because as mums, we don't have like that kind of regimented block of time every morning. It's changeable, and routine, I think, can sometimes be given associated with like negative connotations, that it has to be regimented, it has to be the same thing every day at the same time. But as mums, we don't have that. And that can be quite jarring, and it can, I guess, cause like a kind of mental battle within, and you can get frustrated, like, why can I not just have this time for myself and do this 7-step morning miracle routine? I would love to do a 7-step morning miracle routine, but I just don't have that time. So by asking myself, what is it that I need, and not putting too much pressure on myself, it just allows that space for, I guess, for me to spend that time in whatever way that I need. So at least, even if it's just 5 minutes or 15 minutes, it's me still showing up for myself and allowing me to ease in the day in a way that feels good to me.
No, that's amazing. I mean, I think that whole chunk of everything that you said is so insightful, and especially when you mentioned about not having a strict routine. And I felt like in that moment I was having a life coaching session. I was like, oh God, she's talking to me. Because I really struggled in the beginning. And the reason why is because I set in my mind that I'm gonna be able to stick to my old routine, and I didn't actually put in my little girl into that routine. I didn't realize that I can't stick to Jade's old routine, because Abigail, she will never be able to fit into that, essentially. And as you said, it caused a lot of frustration. I was thinking, why can't I do this, etc. So I think you've hit the nail on the head when saying routine. It has a lot of negative connotations to it. It's so right. And obviously, talking about a life coaching session, take us back. Like, how did your career come about? And how were you able to even mix that into your motherhood journey? How are you able to do it now?
It's a very long-winded story. So my background is science.
Okay.
So I have a PhD in neurobiology, and during my PhD, as a kind of creative release, as a hobby, I started a blog called Celery and Cupcakes. This was about in 2010, and I just fell in love with blogging. It was just something for me, just like something fun for me to do, because a PhD is very stressful.
Did you say celery and cupcakes?
Yeah, it was a healthy.
Because I'm
I
trying
wouldn't
to.
advise you to eat them together.
Okay. I just wanted to correct that.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't taste very nice, but the kind of premise behind it was my kind of online journal of me documenting my journey back to a healthy mindset around food, because I struggled with it, like disordered eating in my late teens and early 20s. So it was kind of documenting my kind of journey back to a more healthy mindset around food, like healthy balance, so celery, cupcakes. And I like the double C thing as well.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. And it definitely got me thinking as well. I was like, so yeah.
That's funny. So yeah, I started that. I did that for a few years whilst I was doing my PhD, and then after my PhD, I got a job in medical communications in London, and at the time I was living in Oxford, so I was commuting from Oxford to London every day, and the hours are really long. Like sometimes I wouldn't get home till like 10 p.m. I'd leave for the train at 6 o'clock in the morning, and during that time I fell pregnant with my first child. And I was like, well, how is this going to work? Like, am I going to put them in nursery, like in Oxford or in London? Like this, I'm not sure how logistically this is going to work. And then my husband works really long hours as well. He's a doctor for the NHS, so his shifts are all over the place. So I'm like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out the way, in that kind of textbook way. And by that point, I'd already started working with brands and earning money through my blog. So I thought, actually, maybe I should just take a leap and just start doing that full time. And my priorities have changed massively, because obviously I was having this baby, and the job that I was in just didn't really fit the lifestyle that I was about to enter. So yeah, I kind of left that job, went full time with blogging, and it worked out, thankfully. And that was my kind of how I made money for quite a few years. And during that time I discovered kind of holistic well-being, and I did my coaching certification, and I was pregnant with my second. And I really wanted to connect with women who are reading my blog in a much deeper way, because there's only so much that you can help through written words on the internet. So I wanted to help them on a much deeper level. So I did my coaching certification. I'm really specialising in like holistic health, so mindset, self-care, and nourishing yourself that way. And I set my business with a newborn. So I had a toddler and a newborn, trying to set up this coaching business. And yeah, it's just gone from there really. And that's how I ended up here.
Yeah.
So it's a really long story.
No, that's fine. I mean, and how did that look with having your toddler and your newborn, and then trying to get the business up and running? I mean, how was that for you? How did you find it?
It was hard, because obviously I was having this kind of mental struggle of, oh my God, how is this actually going to work? Are people going to like want me to be their coach? Are they going to like me? This, that, and the other, while still trying to bring in some income, like through my blog with the brands and sponsorships and recipe development that I was doing, plus trying to set up this coaching business around feeding and kind of looking after a toddler and this, that, and the other. But like I said at the beginning, my business really saved my sanity. And I really believe that if you really want something to happen, you'll commit to it and dedicate the time to it, and it will all kind of work out somehow in the end. So I was committed. I wanted it to work out. I wanted it to succeed. So I would be kind of working in the evening on my business after putting the baby to bed. And I'm working for a few hours, and I enjoyed that time, like working on my business. It was my time. It was that detachment from my children. It was time to be me. And then I would go to bed and the baby would wake up for her feed. So it was a very kind of tiring and exhausting time, but I'm glad I stuck with it. And things kind of happened probably a lot more slowly than I would have liked. And then I was kind of getting resentful as well, because I just felt a little bit stuck, like things weren't moving as fast as I hoped them to look. And then I got kind of stuck in a comparison track, kind of scrolling on Instagram, looking at all these other mums who are launching all these kind of amazing programs and kind of having 6-figure businesses and stuff, and like, why is this not happening for me? Why can I not do that? But also not realizing the resources that they had available to them behind the scenes to help them make that happen. So maybe they, childcare, or maybe their mum lives next door, or, and getting kind of stuck in that. But yeah, no, it wasn't the easiest of times, I'll be honest. But yeah, I relished those moments where I could work on my business, and yeah, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, so good thing you kept going. I mean, definitely worth it. And talking about comparison, because I know that is a massive thing for a lot of mothers, especially women who want to do something outside of motherhood. They can also, at times as well, another word, sort of sense of feeling of judgment as well from. Sometimes I said to another mother how the motherhood community can be such a lovely, warm, welcoming community, but then at the same time, you've got a little corner of the community that can be quite judgmental. I mean, how do you deal with those things, comparison within yourself and then the judgment from others? What advice would you give to another mum?
I think for me, and maybe this comes with the privilege of getting older, but I don't worry as much about what people think about me anymore. And I think that's a big factor in helping me kind of move forward in my life and my business and grow as a person in general. Haters gonna hate, there's that quote that says, you can be the juiciest peach in the fruit bowl, but someone will still hate peaches. So just go out there and do your thing anyway, like, because there's always going to be someone who doesn't like what you say, what you do, and what you're wearing, or what, there's someone always kind of nitpick at something. But yeah, just don't let them hold you back. Just go out there and do that, and create magic. But I also would love to kind of highlight the kind of letting go of the shoulds. I think societal expectations and generational conditioning has a lot to do with that kind of comparison and kind of judgment that we hold on to, because perhaps what you want to do or what you want to embark on doesn't fit that kind of perfect mother role, or what society deems is a good mum. But yeah, I think letting go of the shoulds and the expectations that you put on yourself as well, like, just be self-compassionate, be tender towards yourself, be gentle towards yourself, and practice self-kindness can really help in that respect as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, yeah, self-kindness is important, because when you was talking, I was thinking about, you said about, not worrying about what other people think about you. And then a thought came to my mind is, what do we think about ourselves as well? Because sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. We can be the person that's judging us the most out of everyone. And I think I was saying to my mum the other day, sometimes we just overcomplicate things in our minds. We may think, okay, I want to start this business, or I want to do this, but what are they going to say about me? And maybe Sally down the road doesn't even care what you're doing. She's got too much going on. She's thinking about something else, and where they're worrying about what she's doing. So I think you're completely right. Just do what you want to do. And that saying about the peach, there's going to be someone who doesn't like you, and then there's just as the same way they don't like you, there's going to be so many people who do like you, or who do like your business.
It's okay if, like, not everybody likes you, like,
Well, yeah.
you find your people, you find your tribe, and just kind of solidify those connections, with the people that do get you, and just let the noise just fall away.
No, that's true. That's really powerful. Yeah, you don't want people around you who don't get you anyways, isn't it?
Yeah,
A
invest
waste
your
of time.
energy, where it matters.
Exactly. No, thank you for that. And I guess the last question then would be, what would be your overall advice to mums who just want to do something outside of motherhood? They want to, find their authentic self again. Based on your profession and your experience, what advice would you normally give to a mum that's come to speak to you in one of your one-to-one sessions?
I would say really get clarity around what it is that you want to do, looking at what it is that your core values are, in work, in motherhood, in all kind of aspects, really. So really get to grips with your core values, because they are your kind of guiding light, your North Star. And when you have those set in stone, you can then move forward in an aligned way. Because when you're not aligned, if your goals aren't aligned with who you are as a person, that's when it's almost kind of exhausting, but it's almost like you're paddling a creek against the current. But if you have that alignment in your life, the flow and the ease will just naturally come, and the joy, because you're moving with the current of the creek or the river. But yeah, really get to grips with your core values, and just go slowly. Like, it's not going to happen overnight, but just give it a go, just take those small baby steps. And it might not happen as quickly as you'd like, because you're kind of nurturing these other lives and being a wonderful mother, but you will be surprised by how rewarding kind of having something for yourself can be. And you can never underestimate the amount of time that you invest in yourself, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Even if you wanted to set up a business, I know you've been talking about kind of setting up a business as a avenue kind of beyond motherhood. But like, even if you like set up an Instagram account and you started sharing like your experiences, your thoughts, your opinions, that's a step in the right direction. So you can do small things like that, kind of planning, dreaming, making lists. I don't know, there's lots of different ways that you can kind of kickstart your business, even if it's not a fully functioning kind of business that's earning money at the very beginning. But you can definitely start putting the wheels in motion, and yeah, it can be such a wonderful experience.
Well, definitely. No, thank you for that, Jemma. Appreciate you sharing that. And where can people find you? So if there's a mum that's listening to this now and she thinks, I want to hear a bit more from Dr. Jemma, where can they find you and how can they get in contact?
So my website is drjemma.co.uk. I spend way too much time over on Instagram, which is _dr.gemma. And you can catch me on my podcast, the Reclaiming Mum podcast, which is on all streaming platforms.
Oh, I'll have to tune into that myself, actually. Definitely. Oh, well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on this. Really insightful, a lot of knowledge there. And I think we've all received a free life coaching session. So I do appreciate it. But no, thank you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. I've loved this conversation.
I mean, wasn't that a wow moment, guys? Wasn't that talk a wow moment? Because the nuggets I got from Jemma was amazing. And as I said in the talk, I honestly feel like we had a free life coaching session there. So you're welcome, guys. There you go. So remember, guys, the podcast comes out the 1st of every month. So the next one will be the 1st of March. And we'll be talking to Kara, who is the founder of Motivate PT, which is a personal training service for women, for mothers in particular, who just want to get their bodies moving and who want to get out of that rut, and just find themselves again. And this company has been founded by Kara, and I think it's genius. So stay tuned till the 1st of March, and we can't wait to put this episode out for you. In the meantime, look after yourself, mamas, and remember, you are essential.